Thanks for listening to the Chiro Hacker Lab podcast, where Dr. Tirado is giving doctors instant access to the tools and tips to hack their practices to success. So if you're wondering whether you have what it takes to become a chiro hacker, we invite you to visit us at www.chirohackerlabs.com.
Hey guys, Dr. Jason Tirado here. So I wanted to talk to you guys about something that happened to me yesterday. I was actually on the phone with a friend of mine named Andy, and he said something really profound to me. It's really interesting, just kind of woke me up. He said, people sell like they buy. It's amazing. That is like so true. You know, and the reason why I say that is because, you know, so many people, they come to me and they say that they need help with their practice. They'll come to me, they'll ask me questions, they'll ask me for my advice, and especially friends. Friends are always asking me about my, advice, because I've been in practice for such a long time, and they know I'm a coach. And they'll usually say to me, you know what, I want to grow my practice, I want to get more patients into my office, I really want to scale my practice. And then when they're asked to buy something from someone to help solve that problem, because I'll ask them, I'll say, hey, do you have a coach? Do you ever think about hiring a coach? They usually don't want to. They don't want to buy. And they don't want to buy, or they don't want to pay someone to be able to help them solve that problem. They literally don't want to buy a solution to whatever that problem is. And here they are with this problem, and they literally don't want to lay out the cash to be able to get themselves out of the jam, or to be able to scale their practice, or to be able to just take care of that problem. And it's interesting because, they expect to grow their practices. They expect to get money from their patients. Some of these guys that I talk to, they have decompression clinics, and they charge $5-10 for a program, which isn't cheap, and they want to scale their practice, but they can't. And it's interesting, they don't want to spend the money to be able to get the help that they need. And I try to tell them that, people will basically sell how they buy. And so it's interesting how they don't want to pay someone to be able to figure out their problem, but yet they want someone to pay them to help them with their problem. You got to understand something, that human nature is set up that being like that is really, it's ingrained in your head. It really creates bad programming inside your head. And sometimes I even think it affects your DNA. When you go to your practice to market your practice, or to do anything in your practice, that attitude, that mindset is literally it's like in the back of your head, and you never take care of the problem. You always have the problem. You never really scale your practice, and you always plateau because you sell like you buy. Because, if you don't believe enough in your head to actually pay someone else to be able to help solve your problem, then how can you really expect someone to lay out cash to you to be able to help solve their problem, right? Because you sell like you buy. And, every single time that I've had a problem in the past, I've either hired coaches or I've hired people. I've always gotten a 10, 20, 30% return. In fact, I remember many years ago, I had joined a group called the Prescott Group. And this was years ago in the 1990s. And I remember they told me their fee was, I think it was $20,000 to start. Back then, I was a young practitioner. I was absolutely floored by that amount of money to help solve my problems. But I knew back then, I knew that I had to pay somebody to be able to help me grow my practice and help me solve my problems. And so I paid it. Reluctantly, I paid it. And although I didn't get the greatest information in the world, I did make 10 times my money on that particular program, because I implemented and I learned things from it. That's what I did. I was able to make use of some of the information to be able to get 10 times back on my money. I've always believed that, if you really want to get more business and you really want to scale your practice, you must sell like you buy. And if you're not buying anything, then how are you going to be able to, if you're not investing in yourself, or if you're not investing in your practice, then how are you going to be able to sell anything to anybody or be of any use to anybody? So I just want to give you this little piece of advice. And I tell this to people when I get on the phone with them, people that, whenever I set up a strategy session, usually the person that's on the phone with me has a problem, or they want to scale their practice, or they've gotten just as far as they think they're going to get in practice, right? And so I just want to give you a little piece of advice. People don't have to buy from me. That's okay. And even when I was taking care of patients, I never forced anybody to take to accept my care recommendations. I didn't have to. I don't force anybody. There's no reason to. You don't have to buy from me. Whenever I would make patient recommendations, I never forced anybody to accept my care. But what I would tell them, and what I tell you also, is if they wanted to get better because they had a problem, if you have a problem and you want to see yourself grow and you want your practice to really scale to where you want it to go, look, you're going to have to get help from somebody. Whoever that is, I ask you that whatever decision that you make, whether it's to become my client or whether it's to be someone else's client, at least pay someone for guidance and pay someone for help if you feel like you've plateaued or maybe you got stuck in practice. Because, or if you feel like you're not where you are in practice. Because really, you're never going to be able to get people to buy from you, or you're never going to be able to get people into your practice, and you're never going to be able to grow your practice or scale your practice if you don't pay someone to be able to solve your problems. And it doesn't have to be me, but please make me a promise. You will find somebody. Right? So find somebody out there that's going to be able to help you out. Right? That's really important, because when they help you out and you scale your practice and you get to where you want to go, that helps out the profession. It really does. It helps out all of your brother and sisters out there in the chiropractic profession by you becoming successful. That's where you should be. That's where you deserve to be. So with that said, I look forward to seeing you in my program. I really do. So, get on a call with me, if you need some help with your practice. And I'll answer whatever questions I can. And if we're a good fit, then great. That's great. We'll work together. Either way, if you don't work with me, choose to work with somebody else. Make that decision. Spend the money, right? Because no matter what you do, it's going to come back tenfold. It really will. Either way, look, I just wish you luck, and I really hope that you get in some type of a program, because there are a lot of good programs out there, and we're coming back to practice after this COVID problem, and a lot of practices are really down. And this is it's like a reset for everybody. And this is really a great time to be able to grow your practice to where you really do want it to be. Now's the time to be able to go get some guidance, go get some help, pay somebody to be able to help you out with that. Either way, I want you to turn into an absolute rock star chiropractor. I really do. And I really want you to be, I want you to be my next, success story. But if not, that's okay too. Become somebody else's success story. Either way, I'll talk to you soon. I'm Dr. Tirado. God bless you guys. I pray that everybody stays safe and everybody has a prosperous and abundant practice. Amen. Right? And I'll talk to you soon.